Hey guys, what is going on? I am live again because I want to start doing these with you ladies, and these are really fun for me. Okay, so we are going to be talking about the scale, the dreaded scale. Okay, weighing yourself. If you struggle to step on the scale and you feel frustrated when you see that number, or maybe you get anxious, you get upset when you see that number, this is going to be for you because this used to be something that I really struggled with. I actually avoided the scale for almost 2 years when I started my fitness journey because I was so embarrassed by the number. And the let's just backtrack a little bit. Okay, so my relationship with the scale started negatively going downhill in like freshman year of high school. I'm sure most women listening to this can agree. We all wanted a thigh gap. We wanted to be super small and always wanted to be smaller, smaller, smaller when we are in high school. And that's kind of where my unhealthy mindset with the scale started. And I have now realized and now learned how to, you know, be able to step on the scale, but am not affected by it at all. And this is something that I wish I had back then. It took me years to get here, but in this live stream, I want to explain how you can get there too. Because how many times do you have that moment where you step on the scale and it ruins your entire day and you get really upset, you get really sad, frustrated, all of these things? You can get to a place where it doesn't bother you at all. So that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about today. Okay, so backtracking on a little bit about my story. When I first started my fitness journey, I had let myself go. I had gained a lot of weight and I was really embarrassed by myself. And so this was at a time where it was after high school. I was kind of like in college years and I was just drinking, I was eating, I was just not taking care of myself at all. And I noticed that I started to gain weight. Like you can see it, you can tell your clothes start fitting tighter. And I started to feel a little bit uncomfortable in my body. And so I literally avoided the scale. Like I would not step on the scale. I would not weigh myself. And I would see the scale like sitting in the bathroom and I would look at it and just like kind of get anxiety or just pretend like it wasn't there. But if you're someone who does this right now and you're someone who avoids the scale because you're embarrassed, you feel ashamed, you don't want to see the number, I learned the hard way that this doesn't actually do anything to help you. It's not helping you by avoiding the scale. In fact, it could actually be making it worse. And I'll explain why in this live stream. So that's the thing is like you don't want to avoid the scale if you are frustrated by it. If you struggle to weigh yourself and you don't like seeing that number sometimes, I challenge you to weigh yourself more often. I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds kind of scary to do. But think of it this way, like, when I avoided weighing myself, like, yes, I knew I had gained weight, but you don't actually see the number that you're gaining. And so had I started weighing myself more often and actually seeing the number, maybe I would have noticed like, okay, the scale is starting to go up. Let me start to make some changes. Like you start noticing it more. But because I was literally avoiding it and I like would not look at the number, I it started getting out of hand. And it was almost like, not that it's too late, because it's never too late to like start losing weight or start your fitness journey, but like maybe it wouldn't have gotten as bad because I literally had to buy all new shorts because my clothes didn't fit me anymore. But maybe it wouldn't have gotten that bad if I had weighed myself daily. So you need to be aware of how much you weigh. If you want to improve that, you should be tracking it, you should be measuring it, because you can't manage something you're not measuring. And when you're putting more focus and energy onto something, like you're stepping on the scale, you're weighing yourself, you're aware of that number, and subconsciously, like, you start to want to focus on that more, and your habits will start aligning with the goal that you have. Okay, hopefully this is starting to make sense. Another reason why I recommend weighing yourself daily, like more often, especially if you struggle with weighing yourself, is because you need to get used to seeing the number go up and down. You need to get used to seeing the scale fluctuate, because our scale is going to fluctuate daily. Some days you're going to be up 2 pounds, some days it'll be down, some days it'll be the same. And so you need to start getting used to seeing that number go up and down. Because if you have a complete panic attack or this, oh, it's the worst thing ever when the scale is up, you are setting yourself up for disappointment in your fitness journey, because newsflash, it's going to go up and down every day, every week. And I'll explain how you can make the water fluctuations less, but we need to get used to seeing that number. And so when you're avoiding it, your brain is literally labeling it as dangerous. And so when you do step on the scale, it's this huge emotional event that's this huge deal. It almost just makes more like fear and all these emotions, it makes it all worse if you're avoiding the scale versus if you start weighing yourself every day, you get used to it. It starts to become a pattern, it's a habit, and it's not so scary when you start to do it all the time. And you get to see the water fluctuations and how your body responds to stress or to eating a meal that was high in sodium, or maybe when you're dehydrated, maybe when you're traveling, you start to notice the trends. Okay, when I go out to eat on the weekend, I wake up the next day and my scale is up. Or okay, when I have a meal late at night, I go to bed feeling bloated and I wake up and the scale is up. It's not always fat gain when you see the scale go up. Oftentimes, like 99% of the times, it is water. Okay, because we're gonna have water fluctuations due to our stress, our sodium levels, our sleep. Again, if you're traveling or not, your carbohydrate intake, fiber intake, like there's so many things that affect the number on the scale. So you need to start weighing yourself and not getting so emotional about it. You need to start tracking and logging your weight daily. And what really matters is not the daily fluctuations, but what really matters is your progress over the last 6, 12 months and onwards. So we need, if we want to overcome our fear of the scale, or all of these emotions we feel when we weigh ourselves, is you need to start viewing it for what it is. It's simply just data. It's just data that you get to track and monitor in your fitness journey. It's not the end all be all of your progress, because sometimes you can be losing body fat and building muscle and maybe the scale doesn't change much, but your body composition changes. And so that's why in our program with our clients, we're not just looking at the scale, but we're looking at their energy, their strength, how they're sleeping. We're looking at so many different things. So you need to view it as data. You need to realize it's going to fluctuate all the time. And you need to just start weighing yourself daily if you want to finally overcome this fear of the scale. And know that what really matters is not the daily fluctuations. You cannot let yourself be so emotional and upset when you have a weigh in that's high, it happens to be high that day. That's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're doing everything right and you're so consistent and you've got your workouts in, you hit your macros, and then you're like, what the heck? I hit a new high. Sometimes that happens. It's just a part of the process. But if you self sabotage and you give up and you're like, this isn't working, and then you try something else or you change your plan, that is actually going to affect your progress. You just have to learn how to keep going, being patient, trusting the process, because quitting and giving up sure isn't going to get you to your goal. And switching things up constantly is one of the reasons you're stuck. You need to stay consistent and trust the dang process. Okay. It's going to take time. And that's okay. So hopefully that this live stream was helpful for you. If you are struggling with the scale, if you struggle to weigh yourself, I understand. It was something that I struggled with for years. It's taken me so many years now to get to a place where I genuinely can say, I don't care what the scale says. Like I literally don't. If it's up or down, if I happen to weigh myself on a high day, I don't care anymore, because that's just a part of the journey and a part of the process. But I do want to give you guys some golden nugget tips if you want less water fluctuations on the scale. So maybe if you know, like, yes, your scale is going to fluctuate, but if you're noticing like it's like 2 to 3 to 5 pound jumps in a week, that is a lot. That's a lot of water fluctuations. For me, my scale does fluctuate, but it's really by like half a pound, zero point 0.4 of a pound. Like I'm not having like 2 to 4 pound jumps during the week. So if you are having that, I guarantee that your meal timing is different. You're eating different meals all the time. Your water intake looks different every day. So if you want less water fluctuations, I recommend eating the same meals throughout the week. I know some of you are like, I can't do that. I can't eat the same things. You don't have to, but like if you want less water fluctuations, when you're eating the same carbohydrate intake every day, the same fiber intake every day, the same sodium every day, the same water every day, you have way less water fluctuations. Like my scale does not jump 2, 4, 5 pounds in a week. It's very tiny fluctuations, but I eat the same meals the entire week. I have the same amount of fiber, the same amount of sodium. My water intake is pretty consistent. So if you want less water fluctuations on the scale, be more consistent with your meal timing, your carbohydrates, your fiber, your electrolytes, all of that, and you will have less water fluctuations. You're not going to have zero, because no one will ever have zero fluctuations in the scale. But you're going to have less if you are more consistent with your meal timing. And this is why we teach our clients how to track macros. How to track macros so you can actually understand like how much carbs you're eating and how much fiber you're getting in. Because if you don't know like how much calories you're consuming, what's your carb intake at, what is your fiber intake at, it's really hard to look at, okay, well, am I having all these fluctuations? Why am I not making progress? Like, you don't even know what you're eating. So, that is why I highly, highly recommend tracking macros and just being consistent. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to eat the same meals for the rest of your life, but you do need to make sure that you are consistent. Consistency is key, and it also makes it so much more simple. It makes it way more simple. Okay. Do you compete as well? I did do one show. I did one show last year, and that is it. Okay. But yeah, put your guys' questions. Put your questions in the chat. Do you get anxious after a hard workout the next day because of high cortisol levels? No, I wouldn't say that this is like yes, when you work out, your cortisol increases because it puts like stress on your body, but this is different than like a mental anxiety type of stress. So if you're feeling like mentally you're feeling anxious, I would more look at, okay, what is going on in my life? Like, where is this stemming from? I wouldn't blame the workout. If anything, exercise and lifting weights and moving your body helps with anxiety because your body's producing endorphins and serotonin and you're getting more oxygen to your brain. So if anything, working out should improve your anxiety. It definitely has done wonders for my mental health. If you're feeling anxious the next day, I wouldn't blame the workout. I would more look at, again, asking yourself, where is this coming from? Do I have am I doing a good stress management routine? This is why I tell all my clients to do a mindset routine, a morning routine, to work on our mental health as well. Okay. Um, Awesome. Well, you guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was super inspiring to any woman out there who's struggling with the scale. You're not alone. I feel like it's a very common issue to feel discouraged when you step on the scale and it's up or down, or maybe it's not what you expected it to. But just know that this is going to take time. You're not going to reach your goal in a few weeks, especially if you've been struggling for years. You cannot expect to reach your goal and lose 20 pounds in, the first week or even the first month. Especially if, again, you've been struggling for, 4 or 5, 6 years or longer. Why do we expect to see progress in 4 weeks when we've been struggling for years? You have to be realistic with the timeline. And also take into consideration too, if you're not even tracking macros right now, you don't even know what your intake is at, you don't have a plan, like it makes sense why you're not making progress because this stuff is not going to happen on accident. You need to have macros, you need to be tracking, you need to be having a set program that you're following because losing body fat and building muscle is hard. If it was easy, everyone would be walking around shredded and lean and everyone's at their goal. So you need to make sure that you have realistic expectations and you're actually trusting the process too. So your homework after listening to this, if you're on this live stream right now, we have a question. How to get over yo-yo dieting? I find myself being super consistent and binge on junk later. Usually binging happens because either we are restricting ourselves too much, like this is what I see a lot, restricting yourself too much and you're super hungry, or you're eating just like, you know, chicken and lettuce every day. Of course, like you're going to start craving stuff if you're eating just boring foods all the time, or it comes from emotional eating too. So that's usually when binge eating happens. And so to get over yo-yo dieting, I recommend to not do a diet. This is why I teach my clients how to track macros. It's not about doing a diet. It is about making it a lifestyle. It's about being consistent and having healthy habits that you can maintain for the rest of your life. Now, do I recommend eating junk food every day? No. Obviously, we should be choosing foods that align with our goals and our digestion and make you feel good. But there's no need to completely cut out foods you love if you want to lose body fat and get lean. So for me, for example, I'm a huge chocolate lover. I love chocolate and I actually eat chocolate every day and I still maintain my lean physique year round. It's because I track the chocolate and I fit it into my macros to overcome the craving and I have a 2 pieces of my dark chocolate every day, and that's what I'm actually looking forward to eating after this. I still have to eat dinner, and I'm gonna have my chocolate after. But that's what stops me from, like, binging, and what I tell my clients is, like, whatever you're craving, fit it into your day. You can still eat carbs every day, you can still eat chocolate in moderation, you can still make fun macro-friendly, meals. That's why I love teaching my clients how to make, like, macro-friendly tacos or pasta bowls. Like, you can have fun with it. And so if you're binging on junk, it tells me that you're likely restricting yourself and cutting out a lot of foods you love. And that's why you feel the need to binge, because you're like, oh, I haven't had this in so long. And so you're just like eating it. But if you just learn how to have fun foods and incorporate what you love every day, there's really no need to binge because you don't feel restricted. Now, if it's coming from an emotional standpoint, if you're turning to food to cope with stress or emotions, then that's something that we need to look deeper into. And this is actually why we have a licensed therapist on our team for our clients. And she does a mental health coaching Zoom call every month. And she does a mental health live stream every week inside of our community. And so we talk about, like, where are these emotions stemming from? If we are feeling stressed or overwhelmed, what is it that I need in this moment? Like, do I really need food? Like, is a bag of Lay's chips gonna solve my stress? Is it going to actually solve the problem at hand? The answer is usually no. So you have to take time to pause and ask yourself, what is it that I need in this moment? We don't always need to turn straight to food, because oftentimes food does nothing. Well, 100% of the time, food does nothing to solve the issue that you're stressed about. So maybe it's you need to find something else that gives you that same comfort that you're searching for in food. Maybe it is prayer, maybe it is going outside, maybe it is journaling. Maybe it's calling up a friend or a family member and just talking it through. I think as humans, we're so quick to, like, want to mask that stress or anxiety or discomfort. So we're like, oh, let me just turn to comfort food or desserts or whatever. But sometimes it's okay to sit in that emotion and be uncomfortable a little bit. Sit in that anxiety, sit in that frustration instead of turning to food quickly. Ask yourself, what is it that I need in this moment? And sometimes for me, like, I really like to write out things. So if I'm stressed or I feel overwhelmed with my to-do list, I don't know where to start, I always tell myself, like, calm down, just take it one step at a time. You got this. Let's focus on one task. And sometimes you got to be like, you got to have that reasoning with yourself and that conversation with yourself. And I'll write down everything that I'm overwhelmed about. I'll, like, put it in a list, and this helps me organize my thoughts, and I just take it one task at a time. So I know I went off on a tangent there, but a big conversation to have when it's like emotional eating. That's just like one tidbit, but everyone is different. And this is why I deep dive into all of this stuff with the clients that are in our program, because everyone's different. Everyone has different triggers or different struggles or different schedules or different, goals. So it's important to have something that's created for you and that's going to actually help you in your journey. So if you guys want a custom program created for you, go to the link in my bio. I have my application for coaching there, and we can talk about your goals, like what you need help with, what you're struggling with. If you fill out that form, I can see if we can help you out, and see if we're a good fit to make you a program and a custom, entire plan for you to lose body fat and build muscle. Just taking the guesswork out of it so you don't have to try and, come to these live streams or videos and try to put the pieces together yourself. And then you don't know if it's going to work. It's just so helpful to have something created for you. Okay. I'm going to sign off, you guys, because I've been on calls. My neck hurts so bad. And I've been literally, like, screaming into this microphone. I think I'm on, like, yeah, almost 3 hours. I've been talking, like, we did a Zoom call with our clients. It was so fun, but it was like a 2 hour long call. And I was, like, talking the whole time. So maybe not a good idea to do a live stream right after that. But I said I was going to do a live stream for you guys almost every day. So I'm getting better at that. Definitely going to keep doing these. But thank you guys for coming. I'll catch you in the next one. For my TikTok people, if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, go to my YouTube channel. It's Hallie June Fit. I post 2 videos a week on there. So you can go check out some of the content. But thank you guys for coming. I will see you in the next one. And to my YouTube people, I appreciate you guys. YouTube is my favorite platform. Let me just say, I logged off of my TikTok right now so I can tell you guys YouTube is my favorite platform. Always let me know if you guys are not in my community. Join the YouTube community because I like to post in there like polls or questions or just more value in there behind the scenes. And if there's any specific videos you want to see, let me know. I want to make them for you ladies to help out. So that's it. Have a great night. Thank you guys for being on here, and I'll talk to you guys soon.